Hi, Michelle here. For today's video, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at 5 variegated Hoyas in my collection that are some of my favorites. I've had these Hoyas for quite a while, some a little longer than others. Some have grown quite a bit, some are still quite small. But I thought I'd show them to you and tell you why they are my favorites. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That lets me know where I'm on track with my content. If you'd like to see other plant-related content from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And if you'd like to add something to the conversation, please comment in the comment section below. I really like to interact with my comment section, so I will get back to you. And now on to the first Hoya. The first Hoya is probably one that most of you have seen the most often, and that is the inner variegated lacunosa. This is a really beautiful Hoya. I've seen that with this Hoya, almost every leaf is a little bit different in terms of its variegation. It also, unfortunately, has an unpleasant habit of turning reverted. So I have this stem is reverted, and go around here, and this is reverted, and it's rooted, attached itself to the pot. But it has this nice new stem that is not reverted. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably trim this off and root it as a reverted cutting. But it has branched off in quite a few branches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the thing I like about lacunosas is that they will branch off quite a bit, and you can take one small cutting and you can turn it into an entire plant. I have several cronianas that have turned into huge plants from one small little cutting, like 2 or 3 nodes. So I really enjoy this. It's rooted, right now it's in tree fern fiber and perlite, and it's growing really well. It's got this new growth, it's got this new one. So it is really growing in tree fern fiber. It's about a 70-30% mix of tree fern fiber to perlite. And I find that it keeps it nice and moist, but allows the roots to have a lot of air around them. So the first variegated Hoya that I am showing you today is the inner variegated lacunosa. The second variegated Hoya I'm going to show you is my outer variegated Bella. And this is called the Aniki bois. It's called the Lita bois. It's called a few things, the outer variegated Hoya Bella. But as you see, it grows quite long. I have seen pictures of people's bellas that go 6 feet down. This is on the edge of my detolf right now, and it's growing down over the side. So I'm hopeful that this will grow down all the way down my side, the side of the cabinet. The interesting thing about this is if you look close at this stem right here, it is only holding on by some little strands. You can see that. This part is basically dead stem, and then it's only held together by a few threads. But the interesting thing, you would think that that stem is dead, right? This is the stem that's associated with it. And this has the thickest leaves. These are literal succulent leaves. They are so thick. I don't know if you can see how thick these are. These leaves are, look at how thick that leaf is. So I have known about this this stem for a while now, but I won't touch it until it actually starts to do poorly. Me touching it and doing a whole bunch of stuff that may be enough to do it. But right now, I'm just holding off on doing anything until this starts to suffer. And right now, it's not suffering at all. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably just cut it right there and just stick it right back in the pond. So it is growing. It's got new leaves, as you can see right there. It's got new leaves right there. So it is growing plenty of new leaves. So this outer variegated Hoya bella is really makes a statement draping over my detolved cabinet, and I can't wait for all of these to get longer. The next variegated Hoya that I like to show you is my inner variegated Heuschkeliana. As you can see, I've had this Heuschkeliana for quite a while. It's grown quite a bit. Basically what I did was I had to cut the roots off of this because it had root mealies. Fortunately, if you can see in the pot, there are some new roots forming. So that's good. I can also tell that new roots are forming because it's starting to bloom again. As you can see, it's got blooms there, there, there. It's got some at the base right here. These blooms smell like butterscotch popcorn, if that can be a thing. It's kind of a cross between popcorn and butterscotch. So this Hoya is, I cut the roots off of this and left this plant whole. Normally what I would do is I would cut off the roots and I would cut a plant into small cuttings. I've been trying some different things. I've been letting plants root as is. I've been not cutting roots off plants with root mealies. The thing I like about this inner variegated Hoya is that depending upon how much sunlight you give it, how much light you give it, you can totally change how the plant looks like. A lot of people are really into the coin look, or the look of what the Hoya looks like when it's exposed to high light. And what it looks like is this. It gets the leaves, the whole leaf is mostly white. The leaf is really round. And it is as much white as you can get. So as you can see some of these. But if you don't put it in as much light, you get leaves like this, where there's more green on it. So you have the ability to change what this plant looks like. High light, and you'll get the plant with a lot of variegation. So a lot of people really like that. I see in groups all the time, people show the same picture. I want this Heuschkeliana. No, you just want a Heuschkeliana. You just want one that's been exposed to a lot of light. So tip on that, if you do want a Heuschkeliana inner variegated and you're looking for one with the ones that are coin shaped and have all white or cream, just get any one and put it in a lot of light and you'll be rewarded. So the third plant is my Heuschkeliana inner variegated. My fourth plant is actually one that I've been wanting to collect since the very early days of my Hoya collecting. And this is an obovata inner variegated. I love this plant. I got this as a cutting. It's being rooted in tree fern fiber perlite right now. It's about 70% tree fern fiber, 30% perlite. Not dude. Oh, I cannot remember his first name. He cut his hair. Can't remember. I'm so sorry. He has an absolutely gorgeous obovata that has it's intervariegated with splash. I can only hope that I can get my plant to have just an inkling of what his plant looks like. Um, this is really the first time I've had the opportunity to collect an intervariegated obovata. So I really jumped at the chance. And if you see, the growth tip is now activated. When I got it, I noticed that there's a scar on it from where a leaf dropped. So I was pretty bummed, but thankfully this growth tip started growing. It took about 2 or 3 weeks, about 3 weeks for it to start growing again, which I'm taking as a sign that it has started rooting. So the plant feels confident to grow, or I don't think plants feel confident. It feels safe to grow. So I'm hoping that I get new leaves growing soon. I hope it has a lot of variegation. I hope the variegation doesn't fade like they can sometimes do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this looks like. And I'll have to check in on it from a time or two. So the fourth plant on my list of my favorite variegated Hoyas is my Hoya obovata intervariegated. And my fifth Hoya is probably my favorite. It's a small one. This is my Hoya walliniana intervariegated. And I'll move aside one of the leaves so you can see that there are 2 new leaves inside there. I got this as a free cutting, a free 1-leaf cutting. And with these things, a variegated plant, 1 leaf, you're just asking for it to melt. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. I got a 2-leaf, 1-node cutting for my birthday last year when these were really hard to find. And basically by the 3rd day, I melted it. So this one, when I got this one and it was 1 leaf, I was like, I'm going to melt this in a day. But I pretty much ignored it. I did some, voodoo plant magic over it, hold my breath. And thankfully, it's just kept growing 1 leaf at a time, very slowly, very slowly. And thankfully, it has grown now to 7 leaves, and 2 baby ones right in there. So I would say that this is my favorite variegated Hoya right now. I can't wait to see how big this can get. I always think it's so exciting taking a Hoya from 1 leaf onto an entire plant, especially when it seems so impossible to do. When you're doing things like talking about tiny leafed Hoyas or variegated Hoyas, or just the 1 leaf, and it's a sensitive Hoya, and you have a chance to rot it. That's my favorite thing to do, is to turn Hoyas full plants from those little cuttings. So I was so excited that this did not wilt or melt. This is in tree fern fiber. This is in straight tree fern fiber, though. I water it carefully, and it's got a lot of aeration around the roots. So I think that's why it's doing so well. I have no plans to uproot it or uppot it until I see a mesh of roots covering the outside of the pot, and I cannot get water in it anymore. So that is my 5th cutting or plant, the walliniana intervariegated. So those are my 5 plants for today. I hope you enjoyed taking a little tour of some of my variegated Hoyas with me today. These are 5 of my favorites. In no particular order. I love them all for different reasons. They all add a great little bit of, color to the rest of my Hoya collection. I think variegated plants make things interesting. They add a little pop of variety in your collection. And make people say wow when they come see them. I really appreciate you joining me for today's video. And until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.